Welcome to Sleepless Readings. Tonight we'll be reading a tale called The Interview. As I walked into the room, he stood out to me. He was on the other side of the table when I sat down with a guard behind him. I remember feeling slightly uneasy by his presence. He was not a large man, but somehow the way he smiled at me and the way he sat, though he didn't move a muscle, he gave off this sense of dread, and he knew it. I began the interview like any other. I placed the recorder in the middle of the table and turned it on. "Please state your name, sir," I said to him in a slightly uncomfortable tone. He leaned in and spoke. "Albert Finch." Though he said his words quietly, his voice gave unease to everyone in the room. "Please state your reason for being imprisoned," I said, my voice being shaken every few words.
"Could the fact I murdered 57 people in cold blood be the reason?"
He told the microphone while looking at me in an unbreaking gaze.
Could you go into more detail about these murders?"
I asked him.
"Nervous, mister?"
he asked, waiting for me to reply.
Jones, Mr. Jones,"
I replied quickly.
"What am I going to do, kill you?"
he said before giving a brief chuckle.
"Terrifyingly, that is a possibility,"
I said, trying to sound confident.
"Anyway, can you give a brief thesis of your childhood?"
I said rather forcefully.
"Alright, I was born in Seattle, the poor part of Seattle. Dad was a druggie, Mom died. You know, tragic backstory stuff."
As he finished, his smile faded from his face as he spoke again.
"On April 23rd, 2007, I turned 16 and got my first kill."
His smile was a memory at this point.
"I got home from school and I found my dad crashing on the couch. I grabbed one of the empty whiskey bottles, of which there were many. Then I broke the bottle over his head, slit his throat, and crammed the shards in the cut."
After saying this, his evil smile came across his face once more. I tried to hold my vomit at that point.
"Oh, can you tell me of other murders?"
I said, trying to keep my composure after the sentence Albert said.
"I killed a little girl by slowly twisting a screw through her brain. Her screams almost made me feel a little emotion, but almost is for hand grenades and throat stabs."
He giggled a little bit at his own remarks.
"I think the question on everyone's mind is, well, why?"
I said, my hand shaking at this point.
"Why?"
he said questioningly, his smile fading again. He started leaning on the table. The creaking of the legs were almost ear-splitting as the guard was getting ready.
"I simply ask one question in response,"
he said a foot or two away from my face until he got right next to my ear and whispered,
"Why do I need a reason?"
He pulled away. The guard was standing up.
"You're quite handsome, aren't you, Mr. Jones?"
The guard was basically pulling him out of the room at this point.
"See you in hell!"
He yelled at me while leaving. I just got a call from the prison. He escaped. The police were being sent to my motel. It's been 10 minutes. It seems quiet. Nothing is wrong. I just need to publish the interview. I just heard one of the windows break. Thank you for listening. That was The Interview. Don't forget to like the video. It does help to boost the channel.
There's new stories every Sunday.
So subscribe.
And ring the bell.
Thanks, guys. And, as always, stay sleepless.